We're talking about using normal distributions to calculate the probability of randomly getting a value between a couple of numbers or smaller than or greater than a particular value. We've talked about if you take a value, how to use the normal distributions to find the probability of something less than that. In this video, I'm going to show you how to take that value and calculate the probability of getting something greater than that value. So let's say that we have a z-score of 0.50. We can calculate the probability of a z-score less than 0.50. And again, I will show you how to do that in an upcoming video. That probability, or that area under the curve, if we have our z-score of 0.50, the area to the left of that is 0.6915. So we have a probability of 69.15%. Take a second and look at that. Say, does that make sense? 69% is greater than half. This area looks like it's greater than half. So yes, that should make sense. Now, what's the probability of having a z-score greater than 0.50? In other words, what's the area to the right of this value? Okay, now this isn't a very hard problem to solve. And that's because we already know that the total area under the entire curve is 1. Because underneath the curve, we're representing everybody or everything in our population. That would be everybody, 100%. So the area under that curve has to be 1. So how do we use that to find probability of z greater than 0.50? Well, essentially what I've done with my z-score is I've divided that area into two pieces. I have this area to the left and the area to the right. Together, they make up the total area of 1. So I add the two probabilities, I get 1. Well, I know the probability of z less than 0.50, so I can now solve for the probability of z greater than 0.50. And this just gives us probability of z greater than 0.5 would be 1 minus the probability of z less than 0.5. Does this look familiar at all? This is a complement. Remember we said, well, what's the probability of one category? Well, probability of not being in that category is its complement. So we find the probability of a z-score less than 0.5, 0.6915 is that probability, and we take its complement. We take 1 minus 0.6915, and that will give us 0.3085. That is the area of the right tail in this curve, and thus the probability of having a z-score greater than 0.5.